What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook live stream and podcast here. Recording for Monday's 10-game main slate. James, a big 10-gamer kicking off the week. We have Coors Field on the slate. We might have a couple games with some weather issues, but all in all, a strong way to kick it off.
Strong way to kick it off. Shout out to you and your newly started marriage, John. Over this
Thanks.
past weekend, you had a fantastic wedding.
Nice.
Your wife did a great job with everything. You were just there, but
I
it was
attended.
you attended. Yeah. Great weekend. So to kick off this slate, 10 games, interesting matchups, as you mentioned. Coors Field is always a doozy, and that game, of course, 11.5 total. We do actually have Hunter Green on the rubber for Colorado. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That seemingly is the case with Hunter Green regularly, like even when it's not Coors. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that he's pitching? We don't know. Looks like Connor Siebold is expected to pitch for Colorado. He Red Sox great.
Yeah. Big strikeout guy in the minor leagues, not a strikeout guy.
Not a strikeout guy in the majors. Any other notable Vegas stuff is Michael Wacha and the Padres, biggest favorites on the board, minus 205. Framber Valdez, minus 180. Over-unders, let's see, 9 runs in that San Diego KC game. Brad Keller towing the hill there for Kansas City. Do we have anything else? Boston, Seattle, 9.5 implied runs in Boston, which kind of surprising because George Kirby is like kind of good and Seattle's up.
Seattle's
Offense
up in
isn't.
trash.
Yeah, so not surprising to see 9.5 there, but that's all we have for notable Vegas.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll hop right into it again. We got 10 games to go over. We'll start off at the pitcher spot. You mentioned Framber Valdez being one of the higher favorite win total games there. Houston at home against Chicago. Framber himself coming off of a dominating performance against the Angels last time. About 8 innings, 1 earned, 12 strikeouts there. As we call Framber Valdez, he's the king of the quality start. He's given us quality starts and actually all but one. That was the debut game for him when they pulled him in 85 pitches. Other than that, he just rattled off, what are we looking at, 8 straight quality starts since then.
Is he going to break his own record? He's going to break his own record of last year or what?
He might. And strikeouts have been great, right? Outside of that game against Philadelphia, 7, 9, 8, 12. So this feels like a very strong matchup for him, though he is a top price pitcher. We look at the Cubs and their rankings against left-handed pitching this season. And they've been okay, right? They haven't been, as bad of an offense as they've been in years past, where we can kind of just go ahead and target them. They do have a 23% strikeout rate. That's good for 7th most, but that's coupled with a pretty decent ISO there. It's coupled with a pretty decent WOBA. So I think that there's, and that's the last 2 weeks stats for them. Overall, they're 5th in WOBA. They have a 276 batting average. They have a 24% strikeout rate. So they strike out a lot against lefties, but they also are hitting lefties pretty well. So I guess the damage comes to, what do you trust? Do you trust Framber at home against the Cubs, or do you trust the Cubs' current offense?
Yeah, I mean, I like Framber. I like the strikeout upside, and it's just a tough matchup with him because he keeps the ball on the ground. When he's not getting strikeouts, everything's on the ground. So those are our favorite pitchers to use. Strikeout. Ground ballers that have strikeout upside, so I have no problem getting to Framber here.
Yep, I'm with you there. Moving on down, again, you got Pablo Lopez on the road against the Dodgers. Don't really love that spot for him. Mentioned George Kirby, good pitcher, but Boston's offense, they're very capable of putting up some crooked numbers there. So at $9,400, that one feels a little bit risky. Like you mentioned, 9.5 run total in that game. Freddie Peralta here, this is one of those games where if you look at the DraftKings little board here, they got a rain symbol. We'll have to check in with our guy Kevin Roth there in the morning leading up to roster lock, see how bad the weather is going to be in St. Louis. We got Freddie Peralta against the Cardinals. Cardinals had some comeback wins against Boston over the weekend. The Kenley Jansen blew back-to-back saves against St. Louis. So that offense kind of came through at the right times. We talk about it all the time, though. Don't mean to speed rush through this, but we have Merrill Kelly. And we have him under 9K, and we have him against the A's. So it's feels like, for at least for us, we're always gravitating towards Merrill Kelly, but we're always over on the field. The field is always very underweight on Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, and, he's been extremely consistent this year. Even in starts where he's kind of struggled, like last time out, still got us through 6 innings Had 6 Ks. The strikeouts, I think, have been the key for Merrill Kelly lately.
Mhm.
6, 10, 5, 7 his last 4 starts, kind of up from the numbers he's put up years past. I mean, super safe floor for Merrill Kelly. Um, I do like Freddie Peralta quite a bit here, 9K.
Yep.
He looks like the guy he was 2 years ago. 3 straight really good outings, including 23 strikeouts over his last 18 innings pitched. I
And he
know
has
St.
a
Louis.
start against St. Louis already this year. 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts, 102 pitches in that game. So
Yep. Five of his 7 starts, he's put up 23, 22 and a half or more fantasy points. Like he's
yeah.
just been incredibly consistent.
Yep. A guy that was over 10K for 3 straight
Yep.
slates. Now is
Yep.
that 9K. So
Yep.
I like that. I like that. So those are probably my two like upper tier guys. Like after Frambaugh, I'll look at Peralta and Kelly with you. In the mid tier, I kind of like Tanner Houck here at $8,100. I think
Yeah, a
he's
little bit.
in an interesting spot. I know the numbers do not look very good. He's had some pretty tough matchups. But you look at like the start against Minnesota, which is, as we talked about, not a good team. They have a pretty weak offense. He goes 7 innings, strikes out 7, gives up 3 earned runs, gives you 23 fantasy points. When I'm looking at sort of the matchups where he's done well on, they're the weaker offenses, and
Right.
that's what we have here in Seattle. Now, the run total is certainly going to keep teams probably off of this spot, but
Yep.
Seattle on the year against right-handed pitching, the second highest strikeout rate. Against right-handed pitching, they rank 21st in WOBA. In terms of isolated power, they rank 19th. In terms of slugging percentage this year against right-handed pitching, they rank 21st. So it's really not a great offense, and we've talked about those struggles for Seattle here. I don't think anybody, again, is going to be on Tanner Houck, but I think there's some sneaky upside here.
Yeah. And you mentioned like the strikeouts just aren't going away either. It's been the same thing for Seattle over the last 2 weeks. So perfectly fine getting to Houck. I don't know what to make of Michael Wacha because he's been really good again. And then he throws in these like random, just absolute
Yeah, we
awful
dunked
starts.
in all in on Minnesota that game. Kepler and
Yep.
Buxton and all of them. He goes
Yep.
6 innings, 1 earned, 4 Ks, and we get nothing out of it. So
Kansas City's offense has been, dude, third best OPS in baseball over the last 2 weeks.
I wish we could go back and pull the clips. I know we can, but I'm lazy. But we could go back and pull the clips of like every podcast. I kept on being like, Kansas City's offense is coming. Their
Right.
offense is going to wake up.
Right.
They're not this bad. Like we just kept on saying it. And then you started pointing out, and they're getting deeper. Like they added Nick Prado. They added like this guy. And all of a sudden now, instead of being 3 or 4 deep, they're 6 deep, and they're putting up a lot of runs.
Right.
So,
And even Michael Massey hitting 9th has been pretty
right.
good for them lately. Like, it's just been a better lineup. So I know Michael Wacha being the biggest favorite on the boards feels like a trap. Good ballpark to pitch in San Diego. I don't know, just might throw his hat into the ring as well.
Yep, I agree with you. The last guy I'm going to throw on, and I feel like we just have to do this every podcast. Bailey Falter is a southpaw, and he is facing the San Francisco Giants. Bailey Falter has been awful for most of this year, but he does have a couple of good starts, so it's not like he's been absolute dog water every time he's gone to the mound. So if we draw more so on maybe outings like he had against Seattle, Chicago, Cincinnati earlier this year, Texas even, now you add in the matchup against the Giants here, and maybe there's actually something to look at $6,600.
So he is going to operate as a reliever in this game.
Okay.
There's going to be an opener. We'll see if that means like, does he come in the third? Does he come in the fourth?
Sure.
Is he coming in trailing? That's a tough sell.
All good points.
But it is a fantastic spot against an offense that just simply can flat out just can't hit lefties. So
Right.
and you look at the rest of this value tier, it is disgusting.
Yeah, we're not going Brad Keller or Alex Wood. Dane Dunning's been okay.
He's been very good as he's been very good as a starter.
But we're not gonna throw him against Atlanta. I don't.
But it's Atlanta. But it's
right.
exactly.
Like
that's the key.
He's been really good against the Angels and Seattle. Right, against good as a reliever, but like starting wise, Angels and Seattle on the road were his 2 good starts.
Yep.
Anybody else a pitcher for you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just checking. We're not on the Alek Manoah maybe turns it around today experience, obviously, because his last good start was against the Yankees. So
Yankees offense kind of rolling.
Yep, kind of rolling.
All right, had a good series against Tampa. So.
Good catcher. Talk to me here. What's the go-to spot at catcher?
Go-to spot. I mean, Stevenson 48 against Connor Siebold. I think a lot of people are going to gravitate to.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not playing Michael Waka, Salvi just continues to just, dude. This guy is on a different atmosphere right now. Back to
Another
back,
two home runs.
another back to back days with home runs. So Salvi's in the lineup on Monday. I like that. If you're not on Tanner Houck, Cal Raleigh, we know he's better
Power.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the split. Um, that's probably it. Like over 4K. I don't think I'm gonna get to Elias Diaz against Hunter Green. You can. But we like
Gabriel
Elias.
Moreno, $2,800 against Ruzinski.
Yeah, he had another stolen base on Sunday as well, by the way. It's gonna interesting that he's like running now,
Yeah.
right? Like like that's his second stolen base his last 10 games, just
He,
on
but
top of a 310 average.
why is he $2,800? It just I don't know. I mean,
It's just because like you look at it and it's kind of a low. It's 310, but it's
yeah.
like singles and
But
not
again,
like
I mean, except for recently, he had been one of the leading RBI guy on the team, right?
right.
So like,
Okay. I agree.
um,
I'm not. Listen, we both are Gabriel Moreno fans.
yeah,
It is just worth mentioning that it's probably because like when Corbin Carroll was $3,000, he was hitting doubles, home runs, and stealing
sure,
bases, and we were like, well, what are we doing? Moreno is just still hitting 310, but it's
right,
one home run.
right. All right, first base position here. Then we got guys at the top that are in good matchups, like Vlad Guerrero against
Yes.
Johnny Brito, right?
Yes.
$5,800. That one feels like an absolute smash.
Johnny Brito against righties this year, John,
Yeah,
292 average, 980 OPS, 408 WOBA. And if you look up and down this lineup, righties everywhere.
I feel like I never played Toronto correctly, or like I never get the Vlad Guerrero home run. It just like doesn't feel like it
This is
comes for
it.
me.
This is it.
But this would be
This is
the
it.
spot that I want. I feel like we're going
This
there.
is your course. This is your course pivot, or probably we haven't really like looked at Cincinnati. I mean they're pretty cheap, other
Yeah,
than Jonathan Diaz. So.
I mean, I definitely like Vladdy. I like Rizzo on the opposite side of
Yep.
this matchup
Yeah,
here.
He's been awesome lately.
Yeah, for me, both of those I think are in pretty good spots. No knocking Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman. If they make your lineup, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "What are you doing?" They're great. So that first certainly works for me. Rowdy Telez against Flaherty. Any interest?
Yes, because we just know Rowdy can homer and like
Sure. Pasquantino, we're always in on $4,200. Just a good player. If Waka beats us, he beats us. But I'll
sure.
take my chances on Pasquantino out hitting Waka more often
Sure.
than not.
Sure.
For sure. More guys down here under 4K. What's your targets?
Noda, if you're not playing Merrill Kelly, Kirilloff has been really, really good, John. It's just gonna look at the runs. Look, it's your wedding weekend. We don't even get to enjoy the
I know
Minnesota
all the
scoring
Minnesota wins.
27
27
runs
I know.
the last 2 days. Kirilloff 5 hits, 2 home runs, 2 doubles.
Can we talk
In
about
that span.
Kirilloff? 6 walks, 5 strikeouts.
Yeah, dude,
Two,
he's a
like
dude.
more walks.
This guy just needs. If someone's up there listening, please just let this guy stay healthy. You know.
It's true. It's true. 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 And then
Nick
he's got that
Prado,
matchup
Nick
against
Prado, and
Syndergaard.
then Nick
Who's
Prado here.
Yeah, Nick Prado for sure. Who's stealing bases off of Syndergaard in that game? That's what I want to know.
Who's stealing bases off Syndergaard? Polanco?
Possibly. I'll throw one more hat in the ring here, and that's Tristan Casas. Last 10 games for Casas, 310, 986, 552 slugging.
Okay.
This was, again, a very, very highly touted prospect, top 25, Baseball America. Off to a very slow start this year, but he had like a 140 BABIP. There was just a lot going kind of against that. If he's starting to crawl his way out of this slump and get into that, I mean, he's not a $2,400 hitter based off his prospect status. The power's pretty legit with him. So I don't know what your splits are for George Kirby against lefties, but Casas, if he's starting to come alive here, I think is a pretty interesting way to get some Red Sox exposure on this slate.
Nobody's really hitting Kirby hard.
Right.
Righty's hitting 227, lefty's hitting 247, but 530 OPS for righties, 640 OPS for lefties,
So
265 WOBA against lefties. So it's like better, just still not.
he's been good. So
Great.
no,
He has
nothing.
been good.
So But I think Costas, just given the pedigree and just the recent form, is an interesting
Sure. Sure.
peak. Second base position here, guys at the top. You got Simeon, Jonathan India, though, going to probably lead the way in Coors Field against Connor
Probably, yeah.
Seabold. He's been an absolute monster again, getting on base, scoring, stealing bags. So big fan of him at $5,600. Then we just kind of dumped down into the mid tier. What are the targets for you here?
If you're playing Yankees, Glaber's been good lately. He's hitting atop the Yankees lineup. That's been a nice spark for them. Um, Not playing Rojas at 46, although it's a good spot. I think we're gonna actually have some Diamondbacks interest here. Chris Morel, man, he's been so good. I just wish he wasn't facing a lefty here.
I wish.
Um,
So listen, love my wedding weekend, but I didn't really pay attention to our seasonal fantasy league as much. And Morel was on my bench for both of the months.
oh,
So
oh, yeah, he's been so good.
unfortunate. Yeah. Listen, all the reports out there that he was gonna be like a part-time player or he was gonna get sent down, like he's hitting himself into like an everyday role.
He has to. He has to. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to stay.
Um,
Not that very tough matchup. I don't think
Very
this
tough
is a
matchup.
spot to use
No,
him.
no, 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 no. Agree.
Speaking about him in
Yes.
general, a guy that I think is going to start popping up on our radar a
Agreed.
little bit more here. Whit Merrifield at $3,900. I like it.
5 stolen bases in his last 3 games.
Yeah,
for
dude.
Merrifield.
Eight in the last 10. So, like, this is what he is now, right? Like, he's a guy that led the league in stolen bases, 3 years ago?
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm fully on board getting some Blue Jays here. Mauricio Dubon continues to just do what he does, right? Like, if you want 5 fantasy points, lock him in. Right?
Yeah, honestly.
That's what you're going to get a hit and a run scored, like, probably within the first 2 at-bats.
Yep.
Definitely worthy. And Manuel Valdez, he homered the other day. He's $3,100. Again, I know you're talking about tough matchups against Kirby, but Boston at home has been pretty strong there. Anybody else for you?
Bryce Terang homered on Sunday for what it's worth. 783 OPS over his last 10 games. He's speed guy too, so he's cheap if you're playing guys against Jack Flaherty. Michael Massey too. 40.
All right, Massey.
He's been insane. He's been insane. 379 average his last 10. 1,100 OPS over that span.
2 homers and a bag stolen during that stretch as well. So, yep, I don't be fooled by the 218 batting average. It could be a spot for him to pop up. He hits 9th too, right? So, like wraparound stack for them too, like that. Third base position here. Devers up top. Matt Chapman was a guy that has cooled off considerably since his ridiculous start, but could be a turnaround spot for him here.
Yeah, I think Matt Chapman goes through like the best and worst spells during the course of a baseball season.
Yeah.
Like every year. But this feels like you said, this feels like a spot that can help him break out. Righties are the split that kills Johnny Brito. And Matt Chapman against righties this year, 366 wobbles.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. We haven't hit any San Diego yet because their players haven't really hit our board, but Machado at 47 against Keller definitely feels like a good spot. I know Machado not his best form, but still good matchup. Who in the mid tier are you looking at?
Who in the mid tier? Ryan McMahon, if you're playing the Colorado side of the game. Nick Senzel, he's cooled off after a hot start, but hits in 4 or 5, lots of extra base hits over that span. So Senzel, 4,500 is okay. Patrick Wisdom gets a lefty. I don't think you need to go there, but does mash lefties. LeMahieu, 3,900. He continues to hit. I don't know why his price is dropping, but we saw him at 4,300 as early as Saturday. Now he's 3,900. Gets Manoah. Manoah's, we know, well documented. He's been bad.
Yeah,
that's probably it. And then you just drop.
Do I keep making fun of Kyle Farmer, or what's the deal?
I mean, I'm not making fun of him. Even you were making fun of him. You literally.
I said, should I keep making fun of Kyle Farmer?
Oh, okay. I'm like, yo, I swear the comment the other day was Kyle Farmer. I'm just mentioning him. He's hitting like 4th or whatever. I don't know why, but I mean, yeah, he's been good. He's been good. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not playing him. I'm not playing him here, but he's probably gonna put us wrong again.
Keep saying we're not playing him, but there it is. Let's see here. Anybody else on your radar down here?
I mean, Oswaldo homered. I know it's the worst part of the split, but I like the eligibility. A bunch of RBIs in the last couple games, but that's probably it.
Shortstop position, sir. Up at the top, we got a good Bichette at 56.
Yep.
And we're going to look to get that. Mookie Betts back with shortstop eligibility. Bobby Witt homer today. He's at 53. You got Trey Turner versus lefty at 52. Pena is all the way up to 49. I mean, a lot of top end talent here. And then Xander at $4,600. I know he's been struggling a bit, but it gets the Keller matchup.
You can bets on DraftKings doing something different with Mookie's eligibility every day, you know?
Yeah. I get what you did there. Don't like it. Don't even really appreciate it. But
okay. I'm
I
with you, really.
understand.
Bobby Witt, I'm probably gonna stack against Michael Wacha. Truth
Feels like we're going.
I'm probably. I mean, we just like we've turned into such a Royals first podcast here. Love Bichette, Mookie. Obviously, you can get to if you want. Not the best matchup. I like other guys' matchups in this spot. Like Bobby Witt, like Trey Turner. Jameson Taillon's obviously exploitable if Pena gets on. He's been running a decent amount this year. And then if you're playing Padres, like Xander's obviously in play. The issue is just he's been bad.
Since the first he was hot for like 3 weeks, and now he was the
hottest hitter, like one of the hottest hitters in baseball, if not the hottest hitter in baseball. And then it's just kind of cooled off. Alex Wood has been pretty bad this year.
Yeah,
righty's hitting 294 with an 800 OPS, 365 WOBA. So we know,
Yeah, Trey Turner's for
Trey Turner as well.
Very good. Where are we going here?
Volpe's back. They moved him down the lineup, and he's been crushing.
Yeah, we know the stolen bases are there, but now 3 home runs in the last 10 games as well.
It's three in his last 5. 3 and 5 with the 2 stolen bases.
Right, so he's either homering or then he had a 2 stolen base game, so even better.
This is what he was not like going to be like the best player of all time because the stretch is like not sustainable, but like this is what we expected.
Sure, Casey Schmidt still just
so good.
50. I mean,
he's so good.
3K, whoever's pitching for Philly.
Yep.
Falter, if he ends up being the long reliever here, that's great. Lefty versus righty matchup. Sign me up.
Agreed.
Let's see. Anybody else?
No.
No Paul DeJong for you? No. I'm kidding. You don't even talk about it. Don't even waste your time. Outfield. Let's go. Let's run it. Judge, 62.
Yep.
Jordan against Taillon at 6K.
Yeah, Jordan looks good, dude. He is rolling.
Yeah, Tatis had that double homer game the other day. Again,
he had 2 stolen bases on Sunday, I think, too.
Yep. Juan Soto at $5,300. Finally,
been amazing. He's been amazing.
Come around.
Yep.
So $5,300 feels pretty strong. So as we said, kind of like a lot of San Diego here, that top end talent. They're all very expensive though.
It's crazy that they've scored 3 runs or less in 4 straight games, and Soto and Tatis are both like.
I know, but like the talent is there, so like they should eventually.
Agreed.
Corbin Carroll's right below Soto though, 52. Brzezinski, that's a great spot for him there.
Yep.
You mentioned Buxton was running. I mean, we talk a lot about Noah Syndergaard. He's allowed the most stolen bases as starting pitcher. So, like, if Buxton gets on and maybe he starts to run a little bit more, there's a chance.
He had that 2-day stretch.
Yeah.
Keyword was running.
Right. But if there was a starter that he could run again, it would be nice.
That's correct.
Castellanos gets the lefty matchup against Wood at 49.
Yep. He had a big day Sunday.
Decent. Yeah, Charlie Blackman's still hitting. I almost never play Charlie Blackman, but if you're going to go Colorado, he's certainly there. Kalanick against Houck at 47. You mentioned Springer and Varsho, just both 46 right in that mid-tier is pretty strong.
Dude, Springer 46, like all the numbers are on Springer's side are just still suggesting he's going to break out.
Fraley against Seabold, 42. Yep.
That feels great.
Where's Friedel? Where's he at?
Probably not too far down. I was hoping to find him. He's day-to-day.
Yeah, $3,900. But another lefty bat if he's in the lineup. I would do it in a oblique on Sunday, so I guess that's something to watch.
Yep.
There for sure. Let's see. We tend to like Rooker, but always a guy that you can look at. Chas McCormick was good. Came off the IL, got hurt again. He finds himself like hitting in the middle of Houston's lineup a lot. So
if he's in the lineup,
I don't mind the spot. Melendez is there. Story 36. I'm trying to see if there's anybody's like clearly jumping out to me here.
3,100 JJ Bleday if you're not playing Merrill Kelly. Bleday's been
Truth,
awesome this year.
truth. Definitely a big fan of that. Let's see. We talked about Kirilloff as a dual eligibility, which is nice. We haven't talked any Atlanta. Are we? I mean, Dane Dunning's been good, but like, if we're not going to pitch Dane Dunning, shouldn't we? Do we have interest in Atlanta?
Probably. The issue with Dunning, the ground balls have been incredible for him this year. So it's not even like the best. It's not like this year's Dane Dunning has kind of been different than years past.
Okay. Anybody else here that I'm just missing for you?
Not that I see, and obviously that could change. Like, you want to play Brewers and you play Tyrone Taylor for a home run, be my guest.
Sure.
I don't see any. Like, Grossman's going to hit second, but it's Morton. Kiermaier's been really good if you want to play him for
more Blue Jays. No, he's not the Blue Jays anymore, right? Or
he is on the Blue Jays. Dude, he's 394 with 1,100 OPS over his last 10 games, 3 stolen bases, 6 extra base hits over that span.
I mean, you kind of probably need him at $2,700 to get in Vladimir Bichette, right?
I mean, look at this guy. We got the stolen bases coming. We have some power coming.
I don't mind it. All right, let's build our lineup. I think we do a Coors lineup, and then we do a non-Coors lineup. Let's start with our non-Coors lineup. Why don't we just play Kiermaier?
Yep, and play Toronto. Right. Play Vladdy,
Bichette, and then Springer.
Yes, love that.
Right. And then, all right, so that's our 4 stack. Let's go to pitching. We like Kelly at 88, right?
Yep.
And then what's our spend up?
Peralta. We could just do like a double.
Love it. 33.75. The remaining positions here. We're gonna spend down Moreno.
Yep.
$3,500 here. Do we have another outfielder that we liked, or value second or third baseman that we're on our radar?
Value's second baseman. Massey.
Yep. Third base, $4,200 for outfielder and a third baseman.
What was Prado? 2,800 in the outfield. If we wanted to double Kansas City in the outfield, we don't need to. 4,200.
I don't hate it. Prado 28 in the outfield, and then that's a 5,600 third base.
Yes, every single one.
Our choice here. Let's see, which means we probably have a little bit more to play with.
Yeah, I agree.
But there isn't really like a lot here. Like, that's the thing.
Third felt like I liked LeMahieu at 39. I mean, you liked Kyle Farmer, obviously.
Yeah. I didn't really like Kyle Farmer. I mean, would you do LeMahieu Bader? Or
yeah, it would. Okay. They correlate in the lineup.
Yeah. All right. So that's our non-Coors lineup. We got a Toronto stack, a 2-man stack with the Yankees, bottom half of their lineup there. Moreno and Massey, and then we have Merrill Kelly, Freddie Peralta. Let's build our Coors lineup, Cincinnati and Colorado here. What side of the aisle are we looking at? Probably the Cincinnati side here, right?
So first person I plugged in was Jake Fraley.
Okay.
That was the first name. He's been awesome.
Sure.
Is the Moose going to be on the loose here, John?
I mean,
revenge narrative?
It would be great. I don't know if I want to go against Hunter Green as much, but like, I could get behind a Grichuk spot here.
Yeah. I don't love this game.
Excuse me, not a lot, right? So it would be India, it'd be Fraley, maybe Stevenson.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry about that. So we'll do a 3-man there. Obviously, that takes away 2 of our favorite value plays in Green, Moreno and Massey, but we have other value options that we could take a peek at.
We can just go Kiermaier.
Kiermaier, yep, 100%. Go back to Kiermaier. Pitching, do we want to just keep pitching the same? Peralta.
I was thinking we were going to use Tanner Houck in this spot.
Kelly or Peralta?
Peralta for the upside, I'd say. Okay. Probably just has a little higher ceiling.
Okay, so $3,900 a piece here for what we have remaining.
Kirilloff at first against Syndergaard?
Kirilloff at first or in the outfield?
Oh, well, yeah, either one. That's a good call. Like, we could play him on either spot.
We do so $4,200.
We could probably still get Vladdy in this lineup if we wanted.
3,500 for a third baseman and a
Maybe
shortstop.
not.
Yeah.
Casey Schmidt, 3K shortstop.
Okay. I like that. Schmidt. 49. So maybe now we get Vladdy, and then that's a 4K third baseman. We still go LeMahieu as a one-off.
LeMahieu, yeah. Or scorching hot JD Davis and do a little 2-man game with Schmidt and JD Davis.
I mean,
I know the lefties aren't great against San Fran.
yeah. So we'll keep it our one-off Vladdy because we just think that spot's great. We got a little 3-man Cincy stack in cores. We got one off with Kirilloff, one off with Kiermaier to get that value in the lineup. 2-man San Francisco. We went with Houck and Peralta for our lineup here. That is our Tuesday look at the slate. James and I will be live at 5 p.m. Eastern, breaking it all down. Good luck, everybody. We'll catch you all later.